All right, everybody. So we are looking at a blend in Blender of a map that came in from Blender GIS that I had to position. That's this map here, and you can see I can turn it off. And on top of that map, I've put in the drone footage that I captured yesterday. Really quick flight that I did, so it certainly isn't perfect, but I was able to position it right on top of that Blender GIS map. So that gives us the ability to create some model possibilities. And of course, you want to get that clip all the way down to 0 so you can come in. And then, of course, we want to bring it into Unity. But I'll show you that the way I got it was I went into, if I go to my dashboard.
Did you scan it?
I did scan it, yeah.
Did you take a picture?
Yes, I did. I took 102 pictures, as it shows here in the dashboard of WebODM, which is Open Digital Map. I paid $57 to be able to install this quickly. Otherwise, it could have been done for free, but you have to use this thing called Docker Desktop, and I couldn't figure it out because it has to work with GitHub. And anyway, I was having a heck of a time installing it using the command prompt, and so I just paid the $57 one time. Got this in here, and then you do this download assets, and I have a textured model, but I'm having some problems, so I think I need to download the ortho photo as a JPEG, and I'm going to try that and hope that this helps, because here's what's happened. It certainly textures fine when you're in Blender, right? So that worked just fine. You can see the mesh. It's a very complex mesh, and maybe that's part of the problem when you look at all of those triangles in there. Maybe it has to be decimated, and then you can see the grayscale looking like putty. And then when we go to look at materials, then we see what it actually looks like. So what I was trying to do is to save this Blender file and then go into Unity. And in Unity, go import new asset and find that Blender, let's see where it is, church, Ethiopian church, it's somewhere down here. Snake, what do I have here? Rosebud. So there's the blend file. And you can import the blend file directly into Unity, which is super. And just wait for that to finish importing. But it shows that the materials aren't mapped quite properly. So when I drop this in to the world, you can see that it's not looking textured well at all. The other thing is I don't have my map to put in, and that map here has to be exported. So the way you do that in Blender, as far as I know, is you go to UV editing and you select the file. Let me go to object mode and then go into edit mode and then select it, and there comes up the image, and then you have to save that image by going save as, and it's the Google Sat, but I want to save it as a JPEG because that's too big, saving as a TIFF. So I'll save it as a JPEG and call it Google Sat and save the image, and then come back into Unity and bring it in as an asset. So import new asset, and let's find that Google map there somewhere. CG, there it is. Okay, Google Sat Map. Oh, that's the TIFF. I didn't want to do the TIFF. It's too big. So can I stop that? I'll just delete it. So it did come in, obviously, but it's too big, so I don't want it in there. It's too much of an asset, so I'm going to delete it. Goodbye, TIFF. And I'm going to go now and try it again with import new asset, and let's see if we can find it by looking at Google Sat as a JPEG. That comes in much quicker. And then drop that JPEG onto this. All right, so now we have that, but it looks like these textures that came off of that, they just don't look right at all. You can see the solar panel, but everything else is like really funky. So maybe I just have to keep dropping it onto different parts. Yeah, it's really messed up. So I can't account for why that's coming in so messed up. And so when I look at the ODM textured model and we look at what it's using as a shader, what it's using as a base map, maybe I need to get rid of that. Yeah, there it is. Texture shape 2D. Maybe it needs to be 3D, but it wasn't 3D when it came in. So I'm mystified, and maybe somebody out there can tell me how one puts these things on there. I mean, certainly. So I just downloaded, didn't I? I did this thing where on this dashboard, there's the JPEG ready to go, and I want to put this in my folder. Where's my folder? In my Tiger Blend folder. And let's see if that does a better job. So if I bring in apply settings, well, trying this 3D thing. So I don't know what that does. Oh no. Well, that stinks. Something happened that was really bad. I didn't say clear selection. What's this thing doing? All right, let's try it again. We'll take the blend. Huh? Okay, so this is highly irregular. It's like it disappeared. So delete that. All right, we're going to try it again. Import a new asset. The asset is going to be called Rosebud Drone 1. And we could not convert the blend file to an FBX file for whatever it's worth. All right, so there it is. Drop that in. All right, then drop this texture onto here. And I don't know what this light is doing. Is there another light in here that's creating a problem? No, there's no light. There's this directional light, and it's got a certain intensity. So that light is way up in the wrong direction. Where is that light? Where are you, light? Turn off the light. You can't see much of anything. Turn on the light. And what kind of light? It's directional, so let's make it a point light. Well, that's not too good. Let's try it as a area light is baked only, spotlight. No, directional. So I bring the intensity down. Wait a second, I'm trying to find this light. There's the light. Okay. So if I move this light, can I get rid of that shine? Well, something to do with this part here, the map. It has lighting, cast shadows off, doesn't do anything. Continuous global illumination and dynamic occlusion, not relevant. Workflow, surface type, workflow mode, specular. Render face front, I think that matters. And then surface type, so that's not doing anything. Specular, I'll leave it off. It doesn't seem to do anything to that light. Oh, there we go. Wow, okay. Smoothness of the specular map. There we go. Much better. Okay, whoa, okay. And then we have this piece here, which is this textured map. And this is the map that was on it. So when I drop that on, it just clearly maps in a really weird way, which it shouldn't be doing. So I'm going to try to bring in this other asset, which I just put in there, which is the JPEG, this one here, the orthophoto. I'll drop that orthophoto in and drop that on instead, if it'll let me. No, it's just as bad. In fact, it's worse because it gets rid of everything there. Yeah, not so good, huh? So it looks like we're going to have problems with the textures in here, and that's what I don't really get. Because otherwise it would be really cool because we'd be able to walk around this landscape if it was painted right. And when you go into Blender and you go for a map like this, go to object mode, select this, go into edit mode, and then select that, then that is supposed to map onto, let me go here. That's what that is mapping onto, and it looks like the solar panels did map on properly, as you can tell, but the rest of the stuff did not. There's the point cloud. And how do we account for that? Like, what do we have to do to get it to map on faithfully like that when we transfer it over to here? Because clearly it's not doing what we want. All right. Okay, let's get it to go there.
Okay. I'm coming for you too.
Yeah. So it's obviously really messed up. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up, but that's the question that we have now is why is the texture? Just one other thing I want to try, which is you can come in here and right click. No, not right click. Is it you hit W? No, not W. Is it U? Yeah, U for unwrap. And try to do a smart UV project. And if I do smart UV, like I don't know if this is going to work or not. It tries to do the unwrapping and remap these things on there. Otherwise, I'm going to have to do some weird tweaking and learn how to do UV, which I never really put enough time into to understand how to get each little piece mapped properly onto the texture. But since it came in okay, and it's obviously not working, since it came in okay in Blender, you'd think it would just transfer right onto here, and it's not. And it might have to do with the universal pipeline. Maybe if we went to legacy shaders and did specular, so clearly that didn't do it. Do standard, nope. Standard specular setup, nope. Maybe if we do, so the universal render pipeline, if we do simple lit, it's trying to figure out all that, but see, none of that information is mapping on. And if I go to edit and go to graphics, rendering, materials, convert to UDP, it doesn't even select. So something's clearly wrong here. And I wish I knew what that was. It's just a mystery to me. So that's where we'll have to leave it. See, because even this is slowed down. Yeah, that's not going to work.
What?
All right, well, we tried, and we got as far as we could today. And we'll just have to figure out how to get these pictures to map on properly when you have this complicated file. And it's interesting that the solar panels did work. Maybe because it's a flat surface. And the rest is, look, there's a piece of the solar panel here and a piece of the solar panel there. So clearly the math ain't working out. And we got to figure that out. And once we do, then we will be able to bring in drone photography into Blender GIS and then into Unity so we can start working on the rest of the game. So that's where we are today. All right, thanks for watching.